carried on equipping the Russian armed forces in the post-Soviet era and a variety of other former Soviet states. And here we see it powering up for takeoff. This one from the Ukrainian Air Force, the Sukhoi SU-27 P1M, the flanker. Sustained. Su-27 in September 1987 when a fully armed Soviet Air Force example collided with a P-3 Orion maritime reconnaissance platform of the Royal Norwegian Air Force over the Barents Sea. But when flankers started appearing at Western air displays beginning at the Paris AirShow in 1989, they astounded spectators with their maneuverability. This aircraft had fly-by-wire control. First time in a production fighter in the Soviet Union. This one is from the 831st Guards Tactical Aviation Brigade of the Ukrainian Air Force stationed at Mirhorod. The Soviets have a single fighter interceptor regiment on Ukrainian soil flying the Sukhoi Su-27 TM. As of 1991, that unit had started to replace the Su-15s with Su-27s. That process upon the end of the breakup of the USSR. The Ukrainian Air Force took on 67 flankers upon independence, and they continued serving in the same roles as they had in Soviet times. Most of the Ukrainian Su-27s are based at Mirhorod in central Ukraine, where this aircraft comes from, and are the main providers of Ukrainian air defense. In the north of Ukraine. This one has recently been upgraded. When they're given a general overhaul, they receive a new camouflage pattern. This so-called digital or pixelated scheme has been applied in blue on the Su-27s. This is an upgraded Su-27 P1M variant. Adds a satellite navigation system, new instrument landing system, a transponder allowing international ops under the regulations of ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Organization, and it reportedly provides an air-to-ground capability too. The work's being done locally at the Zaporozhye State Air Repair Plant. The name Flanker is the aircraft's NATO reporting name, and Mark, I'm sure it was a type of great interest to you and your air defender colleagues in the Cold War.
Yeah, it was something we certainly knew on the Phantom that was going to make our eyes water if we ever came head-to-head with it. I'd been on the front line for 2 years when it first appeared at Paris, and up to that point we'd had to make do with grainy black and white photos and aircraft recognition posters to try and familiarise us with it. But certainly when it appeared at Paris, there were a lot of people there with stopwatches timing its 360-degree turns to work out actually what its rate of turn was, and it didn't disappoint. Another great slow-speed flypast by this huge, great aircraft, and for those that were probably to the left of the crowd, you'd have seen that massive air brake just behind the canopy, helping the aircraft to slow down.
Some of the newer production flanker variants incorporate thrust and vectoring greater agility. There's the Su-30 multi-role two-seater, the much upgraded single-seat Su-35. The Su-33 is the carrier variant. The Su-34, the platypus-nosed strike jet version. This Su-27 one of about 35 still operational with the Ukrainian Air Force.
Absolutely awesome rate of acceleration there, probably equivalent to about 20 knots per second, which is the equivalent of 0 to 60 in 3 seconds in a high-performance car. Truly outstanding for an aircraft of this size.
Standard armament, much as the Su-27s carried in the Cold War times, the medium-range R-27 and short-range R-73 air-to-air missiles, a maximum of 10 in all, plus it's got an internal 30mm cannon. There are 2 Ukrainian flankers here, this a single-seater. We've also got a 2-seater in the static display, also upgraded, together with the Ilyushin Il-76 Candid transport that accompanied them here to Fairford. And the big air brake deployed as Colonel Alexander Oksanchenko, who's been the Ukrainian flanker display pilot since 2011, brings this aircraft into land. He and his mount from the 831st Guards Tactical Aviation Brigade of the Ukrainian Air Force at Mirhorod. A memorable air-to-2 return for the Sukhoi 27. And the twin drag chutes of the Su-27 P1M, together operating as callsign gunships. Now, different to most helicopter designs, the Apache has a tandem cockpit, with typically the pilot in the rear seat responsible for the hands-on flying and platform protection, whilst the front seat pilot conducts